Today, we are going to talk about the Sri Lanka Railways Class M2s, their history and current service lives. The Colombo Plan, officially the Colombo Plan for Cooperative Economic and Social Development in Asia and the Pacific, is a regional intergovernmental organization founded in 1951. The aid provided under the Colombo Plan was primarily an effort to foster economic development, raise living standards, and promote political stability, especially in response to the spread of communism in the countries of South and Southeast Asia. Key aspects of the aid: self-help and mutual help. The plan operates on the concept of partnership, where developed member countries provide assistance to developing member countries, and developing countries also share expertise and resources. South-South cooperation. Forms of assistance. The aid was generally provided bilaterally between individual member governments, rather than through a central fund. It took two main forms: capital aid, funding and physical resources for large infrastructure projects, such as airports, roads, railways, and dams, hospitals and universities, industrial facilities like fertilizer plants and steel mills. Technical assistance, skills development. This was a very significant component, focused on developing human resources through sending experts, advisors, and teachers to developing nations, providing scholarships and training programs. Thousands of students and trainees from Asia studied in developed member countries like Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, focusing on fields like engineering, agriculture, health, and technical skills. Founding and purpose. Origin. The plan originated at a meeting of Commonwealth foreign ministers in Colombo, Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, in January 1950. Founding members: Australia, Canada, Sri Lanka, then Ceylon, India, New Zealand, Pakistan, and the United Kingdom. Goal: to organize a cooperative effort to develop the economies and raise the living standards in the developing countries of the region and to prevent the social and political instability that could foster the growth of communism. Today, the Colombo Plan continues to operate, focusing heavily on human capital development and addressing contemporary issues through programs like the Drug Advisory Program, DAP, and the Capacity Building Program, CBP. As a result of aid, we got a lot of help in developing our country. As a part of Canada's contribution, Sri Lanka Railways received the Class M2 locomotive fleet between 1954 to 1966. General Motors or GM's Electromotive Divisions or EMD's Canadian branch situated in London, Ontario, Canada made the Class M2 locomotives, which were based of the multi-purpose G8, G9 and G12 export road switcher locomotive models. They are considered the most successful locomotives in Sri Lanka railway history, along with the B-Class, of course. Class M2 locomotives are also called as Canadian Warriors. Originally 12 were bullet and imported to Sri Lanka under the Colombo Plan, and a further 2 locomotives were bought by both Sri Lankan Railways and Puttalam Cement Works to work primary on the Northern Line. These bullet by GM's American branch adds total number up to 14, which classified as one main class and 4 subclasses known as the M2, M2A, M2B, M2C, M2D classes. The first set of M2 locomotives, Class M2, 569 to 573, was introduced to Sri Lanka from late 1954 to early 1955. The second set of locomotives, Class M2A, 591 to 593, arrived in 1956. The third set of locomotives, Class M2B, 594 and 595, was delivered in 1958. The fourth set, Class M2C, 626 and 627, imported in 1961, and the last two, Class M2D, 628 and 629, were delivered to Sri Lanka in 1966. All Class M2 locomotives except 628 and 629 are named after Canadian provinces and major cities. Class number, name, year of import service: M2. Number 569 Ontario, 1954. In service: M2. Number 570 Alberta, 1954. in service. M2 number 571 Saskatchewan, 1954, out of service. M2 number 572 British Columbia, 1954, in service. M2 number 573 Quebec, 1955, in service. M2A number 591 Manitoba, 1956, in service. M2A number 592 Nova Scotia, 1956, in service. M2A number 593 New Brunswick, 1956, in service. M2B number 594 Prince Edward Island, 1958, in service. M2B number 595 Newfoundland, 1958, in service. M2C number 626 Montreal, 1961, in service. M2C number 627 Vancouver, 1961, in service. M2D number 628 Kankasantharai, 1966, in service. M2D number 629 Gaul, 1966, in service. General stats. Builder countries, Canada and America. Builder, General Motors Electromotive Division, Canada, and General Motors, America. Imported years, 1954 to 1966. Transmission type, diesel-electric. Engine, GMV-12G12567C for the M2, M2A, M2B, and M2C, and GMV-12G12567E for the Class M2D. Power output, 1,425 horsepower for the M2, M2A, M2B, M2C, and 1,310 horsepower for the M2D. Maximum speed, 112 km per hour. Axle arrangement, A1A for the M2, M2A, M2B, M2D, and Bo for the M2C. Weight, 79 tons. Livery. First, a total red livery with brown roof and one yellow strip, something like New Zealand Government Railways DA Classes livery. Then light blue and dark blue for sides, a yellow strip and silver or white or gray for the roof, SLR standard blue livery. Total number of locomotives in service, 13. Special events and notes from their long service couriers from 1954 to today. Class M2 569, 570, 571 on landed Sri Lankan soil on the 2nd and the 3rd of December 1954 and trailed on the 10th, 15th, and 30th of December, respectively. Class M2 572 went on the maiden journey with Ruhunu Kumari, a premier express passenger train from Colombo Fort to Galle, now extended towards Marthara, the 24th of October 1955. Class M2 572 went on the maiden journey with Udarata Manaki, another primer express passenger train from Colombo Fort to Kandy, on the 24th of April 1956. Class M2 570 trapped in Kankasantharai from 1992 to 1996 due to the Civil War after hauling the last night mail train to Kankasantharai. It was stripped for parts, and only 60% of locomotive remained and was brought to Colombo by ship as parts, reassembled, and went back on track thanks to the dedicated work of Mr. M.A. Korea and mechanical staff of Sri Lanka Railways. It also faced minor damages from a landmine in Punani on the 7th of June 2007 and was severely damaged as a result of the Pothuhera train accident where it plowed at speed into the back driver's car of AS-11 DMU at speed on the 30th of April 2014. Class M2 571 was completely destroyed on the 14th of September 1985 near Palipathana due to a bomb blast by terrorists, the only loco not in service. A special mention to Class M2 number 591 was hit by tsunami in Telwat, Paralia, causing the largest rail accident by death toll in the world on the 26th of December 2004 and added back to service exactly after 4 years. Now carries in special wave motif on sides of locomotive and runs special excursion on every 26th of December to the Paralia Tsunami Memorial.